Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We've got a 3.12.0k PTU patch, a new one, with a couple of updates there, but we also have a load of changes for mining explained and exposed for the alpha of 3.12 that I sort of want to dig into today. The latest Star Citizen 3.12.0k patch fixes a couple of issues, but identifies bugs and things that require attention for that sort of like live build. The additions for the patch being the enemy AI spawning as intended targets on the Vaughn assassination missions should no longer spawn as the incorrect ships or cause the target AI to not spawn. This is a fix that was very much needed so you can enjoy the new reputation changes with the assassination mission chain without constantly sort of failing missions for no reason. Much needed change there. And they also fixed for server crashes. So the only other thing in the patch that's been added, and actually quite importantly, is known issues. When logging into trade terminals, they can display incorrect info and prevent sales, though re-logging or trying other locations might actually fix that. The Asperia Talon has power issues when being used in normal gravity. If you throttle up slower, though, that gives the power plant time to build power up, it seems, and actually the ship functions fine. Ship canopies may open and close without user input. The issue that we knew had actually come back that they listed previously as fixed is now relisted again. Players can spawn falling through the planet upon login, not great, and ASOP spawned ship assets can load slowly the first time you connect to a server. There are a few other minor issues as well that have been on that list for a while, but as I said in my last video, I was a little annoyed that some of the issues and bugs in 3.12's PTU had been left off the list, but now they've pretty much listed everything. Cloud Imperium will be trying to plow through these issues in an attempt to get a live build out ASAP. And when I say all pretty much listed, it's not all the bugs in the game listed or anything, it's the pressing ones that I've encountered recently. Though we do know that they've already got a 3.12.1 patch planned, so it's unlikely that I'll be addressing all of those issues, just the most egregious ones and ones that they can fix within a short period of time. The Constellation as well actually saw a massive buff to its health in the last PTU patch, but that seems to have been cut around in half at the moment, so I mean it's still a big buff compared to its original, so that's good, and it does actually make more sense as well. Something else happening in Alpha 3.12.0 is a rebalancing of the mining gear for ships. So let's read and summarize what Cloud Imperium have said. With the introduction of the new refinery system in Alpha 3.12, there were some huge implications for overall impacts on Star Citizen's persistent universe economy. Our goal is that refining your materials will result in a net gain of outcome after any costs associated with the process are taken into account. Please keep in mind that balancing is still ongoing. We'll be monitoring everything closely and continue to iterate until we are in a great place. We have also reworked minables, mining lasers, and consumables across the board, providing potentially more valuable materials and increasing the likelihood that these materials appear more frequently. The intent of this change is threefold: to offset the potential loss of income by allowing players to find more valuable rocks more regularly, to encourage players to begin mining right away with the arbor laser that they receive with their prospector and mole by making lower end minables more likely to have something valuable in them and still be comfortably mineable with the arbor laser, and to provide more mining opportunities for the Argo mole or multiple players in prospectors. We heard your feedback regarding the lack of needing anything other than a helix and a smile to break practically every rock put in front of you, and we're hoping that this is the first set of changes that will remedy that without being punishing. With that said, let's break it down. So, mineable rocks and asteroids. Minables across the entire game have been tweaked to provide a higher maximum percentage of all minerals held within them. Some minables now have valuable materials in them that they didn't previously have. Some lower end value materials now reduce resistance of the mineable, meaning that finding some present in a large valuable deposit could actually be a benefit rather than a hindrance, because you want to actually be able to mine it with a lower powered laser or whatever, because it's basically reduced its difficulty because of that. Resistance and instability curve scaling has been eased slightly to prevent huge spikes in difficulty in lower end minables. Mining lasers. Mining lasers have been overhauled to bring them in line with the new minables, but also to balance them out and make them all more viable choices. With the rework of minables, the intent is to keep the lasers in line with their current power level and provide higher end mining experiences with multiple players in mind. This has seen the power outputs of lasers normalized quite a lot, with all the lasers lowering in power output except for the arbor, which went up relatively significantly. There are lots of new effects with the lasers, and they have added consumable slots to most of the lasers now too, which gives them a lot more utility. As these numbers are still in flux somewhat though, I won't really aggressively break down and compare all those stats, but I will link the source material down below if you want to view them, and I'll also chuck them up on the screen as well. However, at the moment, it does look like the impact might actually be on top of the pile for the solo prospector in mind, in my opinion at the moment. I would need to do a little bit more maths and actually practical testing, but that new optimal charge window and resistance buff and still relatively high output for power make it very good. The Lancet is still going to be extremely useful in group mining, and the Arbor is now very viable, which is fantastic, because obviously if you're just renting a prospector, bam, you want the mining laser on that to be viable, and now it is. With the rework to both minables and mining lasers in mind, consumables also needed to be revisited in an effort to adjust to the new system. All consumables now have 5 charges. A lot of them have had their durations doubled or even tripled where appropriate, except for the Optimum, which has actually lost 50% of its duration, now only being 20%, which is a bit of a shame, although I suppose it makes sense with the new system probably. Cloud Imperium have said they're going to continue to iterate on these systems based on both data and player feedback, and are confident that this first pass will address some of the issues and concerns that have been long withstanding in mining. I'm hoping that they also increase the value of certain minables here in 3.12, or at least the refined materials. You want to be able to make good profit from this gameplay. You don't really want to have the rock gem mining beat the prospector or mole out in profitability, in my opinion. It's a semi-complex gameplay loop. Mining and refining now, it's very well fleshed out. You want to reward players with higher earnings if they're going to do that full gameplay loop and do it well. But boom, that's it for today. We are getting pretty close to a live build, it looks like, with Cloud Imperium pushing out those last few bugs. But what do you think? Have you been playing 3.12 on the PTU? What do you think of the mining changes so far? Do you think we'll see more of an economy rebalance with the patch as well? Reunion Part 2 comes out later today, so I'm looking forward to that. That's the Mercury Star Runner Part 2 short that they had. Whatever your thoughts though, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Shipmas! We're giving away a Mercury Star Runner in December because it's Christmas and we do it every month anyway. Zin, put a Mercury Star Runner in my hand, because that's what we're giving away, and put a hat on it, like a Christmas hat. There you go. That's animation for you, potentially. I just moved my hand around. So just comment on any one of my videos during the month of December to be in for a chance of winning that. Also, maybe give someone special the gift that keeps on giving. I'm talking, of course, about NordVPN. Links below. Also, don't forget Shadow. They do cloud-based gaming stuff, so you can get that as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Click the YouTube join button, like and subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Thanks for supporting the channel. Merry Christmas. Oh, oh, oh. Mercury Star Runner.